I want to thank everybody for being here. We're all friends, so I'm going to make this very, very short. The group of folks that joined together to put this event together tonight all have a common interest in seeing a great judiciary in Louisiana. You should give yourselves a hand for putting this wonderful group together for such a great candidate. Please. Judge Crichton traveled down with his wife Susie, and they brought other admirers, including Mary Bicknell and Debbie Martin and Bruce Roberts. There's a lot of people in this room that admire this man. We're just getting to know him. The friends that we've spoken to up in Shreveport are universal in their acclaim for this gentleman. He is a straight shooter. He knows the law, and he works hard. Isn't that exactly what lawyers want in a great judge? I just want to say again, thank you so much for all of your support, Judge. Why don't you go ahead and say what you want to say?
Thank you. This is wow. Thank you all. A special thanks to Rich for the hard work that he's put into this event. It's a tremendous event, and I'm so thankful. And a special thanks also to the host committee. I'm extremely honored by the first class caliber and the diversity of the host committee. It's very meaningful to me, and it's really consistent with my campaign. I want a broad-based support, and I want to thank you all for being involved in that. I have just a couple of comments, and I want Rich to promise me to turn the mic off at the end of 4 minutes, okay? Because I will go on forever. So, but I'll tell you up front, I have a few things I want to share with you. I'll try to be fairly brief. Again, I'm appreciative for all that you've done. I've been all over the state, from New Orleans to Bunkie to Minden to all over, and I started this journey about 13 months ago. And at that time, I had an opponent that was an announced opponent for re-election. Since that time, the incumbent has indicated he will not run again. And the question that I've been asked tonight a good bit is, do you have an opponent? The answer is no. Thank you very much. I want to keep it that way. Maybe I'll win, I'm thinking, perhaps. And so the answer is no opponent at the moment, and I'm very proud of that. And this is important for everybody, and the obvious reason, I don't really need to tell you this, of course, but each justice addresses each and every case, and so it doesn't really matter, whether a person supports me in the very southeast part of the state or the southwest part of the state, even though the district is sort of the northwest quadrant of the state. And as you know, it only takes 4 to make a decision. Sometimes those decisions are extremely important, as some of you know better than I. And so therefore, it's so critical to have justices who care and who know the law and who will dedicate themselves to the time it takes to read the transcripts, read the brief, and hear you. And you need that opportunity to be heard. Brief background. Grew up in Minden. We have a couple of Minden friends of mine here tonight. Hadn't seen some of them in like 4 or 5 decades. But we're reminiscing about elementary school and junior high. They called it junior high back then. My dad was a hardware store owner in Minden, a small business, and he's a cattleman. He was a country boy, big old kind of burly country boy guy. My mother was from Shreveport. We lived in Minden, however, 30 miles away. She was a homemaker, a master bridge player. I did not inherit that from my mother. She was really good at it and very analytical. I always thought she should go to law school, but back in that day, that was not usually the plan. But she was a very elegant lady. But what my parents taught me and what they instilled in my brother and me is the value of education and hard work, and I've carried that through. And I believe, and they taught me that with education and hard work, anything is possible. And that is a truism and a concept that I've tried to share with my 2 sons. Let me introduce my wife again, of almost 30 years, almost 30 years. Susie and I are the proud parents of 2 sons, who are both adults, and as you can tell, I'm married up, don't you think?
Amen.
That's what I'm talking about, and I'm very proud of our marriage. But our 2 sons are adults. One recently graduated from law school. He's clerking for a federal judge. The other is a senior in law school. If any of you have any job opportunities, we'll talk later. But he's a senior graduating in May. I think he wants to be an assistant DA, much like his father before him, and that's sort of his plan. So we're thankful and proud of our children. The family motto of the Crichton family is God send grace, and God has blessed me with an abundant amount of grace. First of all, he sent Susie, and that was a lot of grace right there. And then we have those 2 healthy sons I told you about, and he's also blessed me with a job that I love immensely. To get up every day and go to the courthouse, put on that robe, and administer justice is a wonderful thing. I deem it to be not really work at all. It's more like a labor of love. And it's really, quite frankly, easy to do something you love to do, and so every day it is something that I enjoy. And now we're in my 24th year, and about 25,000 cases later, civil and criminal, hundreds and hundreds of jury trials, both civil and criminal, and countless pretrial hearings. I can say that it's been a pleasure, and it's something I'm very proud of having done. I love it immensely, but I've been on this journey for the Supreme Court now, actively on it for 13 months, and I am asking everybody for a promotion, a job promotion. I say that here, and I say that in the Supreme Court district all the time. The district is composed of about 11 parishes. It's sort of the northwest quadrant, and it goes down to almost Rapides Parish. But 11 parishes, a lot of work to do, a lot of diverse and vast area to cover. But I do want to say this, that I can make some promises for you tonight. I've made these promises before, all consistent with the judicial canons. Judges normally can't make promises, right? We know that, judges. And thank you, judicial colleagues, for being there. That means so much to me to see you tonight as well. But the promises I can make are those that you should expect. Number 1, integrity. I can promise you that, and intellectual integrity, not agenda-driven decisions, but intellectual analysis, that which we were taught in law school. I can promise you rule of law. How about that? Adherence to the rule of law. We learned that in law school too, right, Al? I mean, we're classmates, 1980. Had to tell my law clerk the other day, I said I graduated in 80, and he looked at me kind of puzzled, and I said, that was 1980. He's a young guy, and he thinks I'm ancient. And I am. I'm only 59. I'll be 60 in June. But rule of law is something that I believe in, something I practice every day. Courtesy and kindness and patience and allowing everybody the right to be heard. How about that? That's something I can promise you. I can promise you work ethic. Work ethic is important. I learned that young. People have said that being on the Supreme Court as a justice is a lot of work. I know that. But then again, I'm used to a lot of work. And I actually like a lot of work. So again, I like what I do. But Susie can testify that I'm a hard worker, and I get that call sometimes about 6:30. Is where are you? Supper's ready, But I do love it. So I put my best into it every day. And I also enjoy being involved in my community. And I've started several programs that have become also a labor of love. One is Don't Let This Be You, which is a program for teenagers, high school kids. It seems to me that we need to teach these kids about missteps, I mean serious missteps, that involve the law and perhaps losing that right to go to college or the privilege of going to college and that sort of thing, and perhaps jail and a record. Also talk about electronic misbehavior in another program that I do, which is sexting, texting, and beyond. I'm not sure how I came up with that. Susie asked me what's the beyond part, and I said you have to come watch the program, and then you'll find out. That was the end of the end of the discussion. But The third and last program I want to tell you about very briefly is bullet points on the Second Amendment. It's all about home protection and self-protection and defense of others. The public really doesn't know where the lines are, so we talk about that in this PowerPoint program. But that gives you a flavor, and it's talked about all in my push card that I hope you've gotten, and if you haven't, there's some there. But I hope that evidences my commitment to the community and my commitment to what we do. It means so much to me. So anyway, in wrapping this up, is my 4 minutes up? I think it is. The mic is still on, right? But thank you again for everything. This is I'm so honored by this absolutely fabulous crowd, the host committee and all of the attendees and my judicial colleagues. Wow. Thank you so much. I can promise you that if elected, I'll make you proud. I will make you proud. And again, thank you.